Court is in session in cause number 320344. Case is style of State of Texas versus Curtis D. Payne. We have Mr. Payne appearing via Zoom. Mr. Payne, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Payne, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Oh, his mic must be on mute. I can't hear him. Mr. Payne, can you hear me? I still can't hear you. Okay, Mr. Payne, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? You still on mute. I think that's, say something. Can you hear me? Okay, we can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Is his volume turned up? There it is.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Payne, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Payne, you may put your hand down. Your full name is Curtis D. Payne.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Payne?
All right.
Mr. Payne, you're here represented by your attorney Langston Adams. Attorney Adams, how are you doing?
Doing well. Can't complain.
And Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in Mr. Payne's case?
Yes, no problem.
Mr. Payne, I have before me a motion to revoke your probation. In this motion, it alleges that on August 29th of 2019, that you were found guilty for the offense of assault family violence, and your punishment was assessed at 90 days confinement in the Jefferson County Jail and a fine of $500. Your confinement was probated for a period of 1 year. On August 18 of 2021, Jefferson County District Attorney's Office filed a motion to revoke your probation. And in this motion, there are 4 allegations. What's that, 1, 2, is that 3? Mr.
It's a 1 and 2.
1 and 2?
Yeah, it's on there. I put 1 and 2.
Okay, okay. She got it, okay. Now, Mr. Payne, the state, as I stated earlier, is alleging 4 allegations of violation of probation. State, are you abandoning allegations 3 and 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Payne, the state is abandoning allegations 3 and 4, and what that means is that they will only be proceeding on allegations 1 and 2. Allegation number 1, Mr. Payne, alleges that you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office as ordered by the court on April 4th of 2021. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. This next one, I don't know. They got J-U-L-N-E. I don't know if they was trying to say July or June. You can look at this here motion that you're gonna either amend it or you can take it out. You see where it says, you see it's for allegation number 1?
I do.
And you see where it was,
I think, yeah.
I mean, I don't, you're gonna take that date out, or you're gonna keep it in, or you're gonna?
What says appearing in court on April 4th.
You know what I'm talking about is the allegation that said they misspelled either June or July. I don't know.
And you can't say it's July or June.
So
Can we just?
is he pleading? He's pleading to number 1. pleading true to number one.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
We could just,
We can get a clarification from probation department, Judge.
Okay,
It's just abandoned that one.
okay.
Your Honor, the state's going to abandon number 1,
Allegation number
No,
1?
not the entire allegation.
not the,
Judge.
not the
Just
entire
the
allegation.
date that's misspelled?
That's exactly-
Correct.
Okay, let me see that. Now, Mr. Adams,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Adams, now there was a date that was misspelled in allegation number 1. The state is abandoning that date.
Mhm.
You have any objections?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. All right, now, and so the state is amending, I guess, this way, yeah, they're amending in the motion. Now, you have any objections, Mr. Adams?
No, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Payne, the state has amended allegation number 1, and it reads, and it states as follows, that you, Curtis D. Payne, failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office as ordered by the court on April 4th of 2021 and July 6th of 2021 as directed in violation of condition 4 of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
Sir.
Is it true or not true?
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Now, you have to say either true or not true. Which one it is? Is it true? Repeat yourself.
True.
True? All right. Now, allegation number 2 states that you, Curtis D. Payne, failed to pay court assessed fees as ordered by the court as of July 6th of 2021. You were $1,351 in arrears in violation of condition 8 of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
True.
Now, Mr. Payne, are you pleading true to allegations 1 and 2 freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true to these allegations because they are true?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Payne, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Clear Admonishments. And on the first page, there's the one box that's checked, is the box that's checked is MTRP. MTRP means motion to revoke probation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials on a line that is typed, well, the initials are CP, and they're on a line next to a box that's checked MTPR, which stands for motion to revoke probation, true to allegations. They have 1, 2, and then like there's another 2. Now, Mr. Adams, Mr. Payne is only pleading to allegations 1 and 2. Is that correct?
Correct.
So do I have your permission, Mr. Payne, to erase this other mark that's on there? I don't know.
What's the markers on there?
It looks like, I don't know if it was a D. I don't know what it is. It looks like a, it says 1, 2, and then there's another mark on there.
That's the X. That's an X for him to sign his name next to.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
an
it. Okay, I couldn't make it out. All right. Now, so you pleading true to allegations 1 and 2. And are these your initials on this document CP? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And on page 3 of this document, there's a signature next to the X, and it's above the line that's titled defendant. Did you place your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, this document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Now, Mr. Payne, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Did you place your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And I think there's one box that's checked, it's kind of going into the first and the second box. Mr. Adams, did you check the first box or the second box?
You talking about on the
Yeah, it
what?
says the first box is that this is a plea bargain case,
No.
you have no right of appeal.
Right. Yeah, I clicked on there. He didn't have me right of appeal. Correct.
All right. Now, Mr. Payne, there's one box that's checked, states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Adams, did you ask you, were you waiving a record in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And state, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer state's exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Adams?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Payne, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Adams, you've advised and counseled Mr. Payne. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Mr. Payne, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Payne, I will accept your plea of true to allegations 1 and 2. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and your probation is hereby revoked. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's to revoke and 45 days in jail.
Okay. Mr. Payne, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail, and you will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case, Mr. Payne, is $57. Will you be able to pay the $57?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Payne, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Payne, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Payne, pursuant to the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonish you of the following. You are by entry or order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm ammunition. Number 2, beginning now, if you possess a firearm ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Under Texas Penal Code, Section 46.013A, firearm means any device made or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion of burning substance or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, or that is 1, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or 2, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons, Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond, any family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Mr. Payne, you'll be able to get a copy of this at the jail. Please adhere to these, to this admonition. This will conclude your case. You can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kevin Bell, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, give me a copy of the psychiatric exam evaluation. Next to them, and Mr. Gilliam, you're excused,
Thank you, sir.
and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He wasn't talking to you. Somebody in the courtroom. Hang on. Terrence, Terrence, Judge Owens, Judge Owens, Terrence.
Did you get a copy?
I'm not sure if I reviewed.
Yeah,
Langston should have one as well.
yeah. Go ahead. Give me a copy of the order that I had ordered. Yeah. Okay, yeah. What was the date on this? Okay. You ready?
Yeah, state's ready.
Okay. The court is in session and calls number 331594, case is filed the state of Texas versus Kevin Troy Bell. We have Mr. Bell appearing via Zoom. Mr. Bell, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Bell, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Now, before we get started, the court on March 10th of 2022 ordered Dr. Edward Grapan to do a psychiatric, appointed him to do an evaluation of the competency of Mr. Kevin Bell. Mr. Coleman, have you received a copy of this evaluation?
I have, Your Honor, and I didn't take judicial notice of the report prepared by Dr. Rupon that's filed a record with the clerk's office dated March the 30th of 2022.
Okay, now, Mr. Adams, did you receive a copy of Dr. Grapan's psychiatric evaluation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, does anybody, Mr. Adams, do you have any objection to the finding, conclusions, and recommendations in this psychiatric evaluation?
No, sir.
And Mr. Coleman stated that he read it. Do you have any objections to the findings, conclusions of Dr. Grapan and recommendations in Dr. Grapan's evaluation?
No objection, Your Honor.
And
And
the-
before we move any forward, I think, have we waived, has the record in this case been?
We, Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, the court is going to take judicial notice of the psychiatric evaluation that has been conducted, has been performed in Mr. Bell's case. Dr. Grapan found that Kevin Troy Bell is competent. And so, Mr. Bell, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information, Mr. Bell, alleges that on or about November 29th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Mr. Bell, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes.
Which one do you plead? No contest, guilty, or not guilty?
No contest.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bell, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
That's what my attorney told me. He said, be sure to plead no contest, like you said.
Okay, now let me do this here, Mr. Bell. Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
That's right. I wish not to contest the charges because my attorney advised me to plead no contest. The same attorney is that Mr. Living, Langston Adams right there?
Yes. Now, Mr. Bell, let me do this. You understand that you had three options. You could either plead not guilty, guilty, or no contest. Do you understand?
He told me guilty. Signed
Okay.
the paper, say guilty. I said guilty or no contest. It is a part of guarantee for contest. Then
Okay.
he told me to play. I took the advisory where I signed the paper. I'm guilty, and then it was said, told you yes, no contest, guilty, yes. To say yes.
So are you choosing to plead guilty or are you pleading no contest?
My attorney told me to plead no contest.
Okay, well, I'm asking you, how do you want to plead?
I would like to plead no contest.
Oh, okay.
My attorney advised me, he said, if you sign right here, you get out of here today, and this is no contest.
Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure that you understand that
That is Langston Adams right there, isn't it?
that's
That was the attorney that they sent last time.
yeah, that's
Okay, I
Mr.
just want to make sure that I say the right thing because that's what the attorney advised.
Okay, now, Mr. Bell,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you understand how you're pleading and that you are entering the plea of either guilty, no contest, or not guilty.
That's the people in my registered. Mr. Langston Adams told me as yes, authorized
Okay,
attorney at all.
let me ask you this here. If Mr. Adams did not tell you to plead no contest, how would you plead?
As a preference of my own, as a preference of legal term and terminology, I accepted where he was suited in a very blue outfit. Yesterday, as I talked to him, he said, be sure to see the plead no contest. And I said, that's right.
Yeah,
But what I heard was that he followed the advice of his counsel. That's what I heard.
right. Right. So let me ask you this, is that your desire to plead no contest?
He told me, he said it would be advised to you if you are really going to be set free. Please sign this paper, and this says guilty, and that says no contest.
Okay, do you understand the difference between guilty and no contest?
Well, actually, I really know the difference where I had been taken as on February 3rd, mentally disturbed. I was brought a type of area of culture when I was trying to go directly on Culver Street to St. Elizabeth to admit myself for observation for a schizophrenia. And then when I told them, I said I suffer with a psychosis, which was explained at the top as a disease called schizophrenia. The doctor explained to me, as I told the other officer, is that me and my mother went to see before Dr. Johnston had died, and that was his name, Dr. Johnston. He said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Chambers, but Kevin will never be healed of his disease." He said there is no cure for schizophrenia. However, he suffers with a effective disorder of psychosis, and it is part of the reasoning why he needs to be always admitted to see his therapist or his doctor for observation in a mental ward. I was told to go to when I'm having problems where it's across the street where they have the Hope Center. Where it's part of the same lessons that we learn about different types of diseases that are different types of mental disorder diseases. When it's a psychosis of different types of different mental diseases. But like I said, when Dr. Coupon, at the Ag building where the spinal tap crisis intake center is, I have a history of schizophrenia. And before Dr. Charleston died, he explained to me and my mother that Karen will never be healed of his disease.
Your Honor, if I
And then my advisory last night, I came here in February. I said, I've been here since February on the class B, and I was trying to get admitted to the Baptist hospital way back then. But then when I say but when it was like I was just trying to go to the area of the college, I said, well, I was just trying to get some mental health before I have a breakdown. Also take a very, very description of what it is most, to some people examine the situation when they're emotional. When it's emotional, it's very different type.
sorry to interrupt, Your Honor.
Mr. Bell, hold on a minute.
Your Honor, and I just want to point out at this point in during our plea, during the plea, Your Honor, is that on page 3 of Dr. Groupon's report, he made certain findings after finding that the defendant was competent. According to the doctor, he says that Mr. Bell understands his current legal charge and he understands adequately the legal proceedings. He went on to say that although there is some mental illness, he does possess the sufficient ability to communicate with his attorney in a reasonable degree of rational understanding, Judge. I just wanted to point that out to the court that we've got Dr. Groupon who made those with regard to this.
Like I was saying, I was only saying that when he advised me to see yes. I was only trying to admit where it is a part of the same type of description of what it is called being responsible for the actions that you are incarcerated for, especially when the actions that went before you are told are no rights, but then when you are taking a risk and then you have a class B misdemeanor warrant, Mr. Bell, I think what you should do is get you an attorney, but I have to bring you.
Judge, for the purpose of time, if you just want to put on the sheet guilty instead of no contest, it won't make bother me one way.
No. I'm just, I was just trying to, I asked him one question.
He wants the 10 days so he can
I understand. Yeah, we're not even there yet. I'm just trying to say, I'm looking at intelligently, knowingly, and voluntarily.
Like I said, it's part about psychosis is part like what is the description? A different type of chemicals that are not even part of the same imbalances. Always looking at the balances that are part of balances that are just part of mental disturbances that are promoted, but of fluid that was part of the brain. When they explained at the center, when the very professional people that work there, they say, well, it's just like a fluid that is in the brain that is not retelling it around to rejuvenate when it is a part. I go to work like a doctor. I had a video like that. That's cool. But it's like when your brain is not being able to.
Apologize to the defendant.
Mr. Bell.
But Judge, again, if we could, my suggestion would be that maybe.
It's like when it's like fluid that makes the cells in different sides of the brain when it's most lucrative. But there were opioid crises at the time when I went to this. And then some said some of the medications that I had taken in the criminal justice system were poisonous.
If we can mute him for me.
But they were a little.
Yeah, I need, well, let's
my suggestion would be that we focus on whether or not he can understand the nature of these.
I'm just being honest because I suffer with schizophrenia. I suffer with schizophrenia. But the doctor over at the Ag building before he died, Dr. Charleston, explained to me and Miss Chambers, Bobby Chambers, that Kevin will never be healed of his disease.
I understand, Mr. Bell.
And she said, I'm sorry, but Kevin will never be healed of his disease.
I think he said he wanted to do no contest too, though. He did say that.
Yeah,
and Mr. Livingston Adams said, please no contest, and you go to that.
Okay. He said a lot of stuff.
So, Mr. Bill, are you ready to go forward with your case to be done?
As a matter of fact, I came here on a Class B misdemeanor. And I came here on a Class B misdemeanor warrant for trespass.
Mr.
And that was in February.
Oh, Mr. Deputy Monty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, could you just hold up on Mr. Bell for a minute? I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Mr. Stabler. We have him
Okay.
in court and Mr. Adams.
But I'm listening to the judge.
Shh, be quiet so I can hear. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Judge, say it again.
Yeah, just hold on to Mr. Bell for a few. We're gonna have to come back to him. I'm gonna go ahead on and do this other case. Let me put him on. I'm gonna go ahead on and put him on mute.
Okay.
Okay, just hold on a minute. Okay, Mr. I got Mr. Stabler. Which one? It's gonna be pleaded. That's it. 6-8. Okay, I got that. I get it. You can set it right there. State. That's 6. Okay. Court is in session in 2 cases. First case is cause number 330372. Second case is cause number 330568. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Christopher J. Stabler or Christopher John Stabler. Mr. Stabler, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stabler, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Stabler, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Stabler, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Stabler?
Very good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. 6-8. So he's pleading on the unlawful carrying a weapon case?
That's right, sir.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Stabler, I have before me an information that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about July 25th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon while engaging in criminal activity. Mr. Stabler, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes,
And to this charge, Mr. Stabler, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no contest, Your Honor.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
No, sir.
Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight the charges or contest the
Oh.
charges?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Bruce Smith, are you waiving a record in Mr. Stabler's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, Mr. Stabler, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Mr. Stabler, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Stabler, there are a set of initials on the line that's titled NOLA contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this
Yes,
document?
sir.
You did?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
And on the next document, which is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. And the next box that's, no, first, do you understand that?
Yes.
The next box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yep.
I also have before me, Mr. Stabler, a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Stabler, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Smith, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, it is.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, sir.
Mr. Stabler, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2, the
Yeah.
probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor, state offers both states 1 and 2.
Okay.
No objection, State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Smith, you've advised and counseled Mr. Stabler. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Stabler, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
I believe so, yes.
Mr. Stabler, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea in the unlawful carrying of a weapon case, premium cause number 3300568, the state's recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 60 days. However, we're asking that the court give him credit for the 60 days that he's already spent in custody, essentially making this a time served plea agreement. We're asking that with regard to the court cost, that the court use that same 60 days to tax and retire the court cost. Additionally, the state is agreeing to dismiss the companion case, the violation of protective order case appearing in cause number 330372, dismissing that pursuant to chapter 1245 of the Texas Penal Code. And the defendant has likewise agreed to forfeit the weapon in that case if we file a motion. One issue with that motion, Judge, is there was no serial number listed for the weapon in the report, or I've attached a lab submission form for that weapon. There was no serial number listed on for that weapon as well. I've done the best I could to identify it, but there is no serial number identified.
Okay, we got the, okay, let me do this here. Mr. Stabler, in cause number 330568, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 60 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case, Mr. Stabler, is $342, but you will not have to pay the $342 because the time that you spent in jail has already paid off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. And the state will be dismissing cause number 330372. Mr. Stabler, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you think that the state's offer in this case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Okay. And also part of this plea bargain agreement, you'll be forfeiting the weapon in cause number in this cause number 330568. Mr. Stabler, I have a motion to forfeit the weapon before me.
Yes.
Do you recognize this
Sir.
motion?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's tied to defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read everything, you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And this weapon will be forfeited to the Beaumont Police Department. The court is going to grant the state's motion to forfeit. And now, let me do this again. Mr. Stabler, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that it's fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state, Mr. Stabler. And I'm getting ready to sign the motion to forfeit that has been, excuse me, not the motion to forfeit, the motion to dismiss that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in cause number 330372. This is the 13th. Okay, Mr. Stabler,
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
just signed a motion to dismiss in cause number 330372. Mr. Stabler, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney. And right there, yeah, stand on the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you will follow the bailiff. And I think if there's nothing else holding you in jail long, you should be getting out today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you
Thank
are.
you.
Okay, Mr. Smith, I think this is the only case that you have, last case that you have.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go
Thank you.
and you have a blessed day.
You too, Your Honor.
And Mr. Coleman, I have a motion to dismiss on a Kevin Troy bail. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Monty and Mr. Adams,
Yes, sir.
I have a motion to dismiss on Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell's case is being dismissed. You can, he's free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good day.
All right, you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Adams.
Bye.
Permission to leave the meeting, Your Honor.
Yeah, and you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Monty, and thanks for everything. You're free
You're
to go.
welcome, sir.
All right.